in Suzuka for Gprl Season 4, round number 4 today. As usual, I'm joined by my, I was going to say other half, that's kind of weird. I'm joined with Ryan.
Yeah, it's good to be here once again.
Not my other half, but you get what I was getting at.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see the comments already.
Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, let's, no. Anyway, here in season, round number 4 at Suzuka making its re-debut to the Gprl calendar after a season off last year. We've got the two title protagonists of Moraine and Marcos in the session. Also Felix, you'd say he's still in with a shot at the title. And then a new guy in Damien, who has literally joined the league about 10 minutes ago, and on very short notice he came through, joined the session. So we have 10 drives today, not the most we've ever had, but equally, hopefully not a boring race. So Ryan, let's go through a little preview of this qualifying session as we watch Moraine start his lap. Amar's just joined the session. Right. So that could be quite interesting. Ryan, do you like to give us a quick... Go on.
He'll only be spectating because he won't be able to race.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, give us a quick rundown of this qualifying session before we start getting to the juicy bits.
Well, I think that, obviously at the moment there won't be much to speak about as all the drivers, none of the drivers have set a lap yet, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see, obviously, like you're saying about Damien, the new driver. Be good to see how well he performs in his first race of 10 minutes of being in the league. So it'll be good to see how he handles.
It will be. And a little bit of a preview of the qualifying session. How do you see this one panning out? A lot of drivers opting for the soft tyre, so do you think that would be the preferred strategy?
Yeah, I think so. I could see a few drivers are like Moraine and I believe Yarno, who's just set a lap. They're going for that aggressive strategy. Want to play out.
So Red Bull 1-2 so far. It was a good lap there, you'd say, from Moraine.
Yeah, it was a solid lap from him on the super soft, so 27.4. Yeah, pretty rapid around here.
Half a second quicker than his teammate, and I think, were we looking at 26.5s? I think I saw earlier.
Yeah, I think it was I think Marcos recorded a 26.5, so be interesting to see if he gets anywhere near that today. Oh, you've got a little bit of oversteer coming out the last corner there, so that would have cost him a bit of time.
That would have. Marcus saying in the group chat earlier he's not the strongest at Suzuka, and 1.3 seconds off. It's sort of new grounds for Marcos to be that far off the pace really this season, isn't it? Because he's been bang on it.
Yeah, he's always been.
Ryan's gone. There goes his connection. So I'm gonna. Can I invite him back to the session? How do I invite someone to a session? Bear with.
Hello.
Evening, Ryan. Welcome back.
Yeah, what just happened?
I'm not sure. I think you lagged out or something. Can you rejoin the session?
I'll try.
If you join it through the party, you should be able to join it through there. Meanwhile, not too much happening. You guys on a lap. His second lap on those tyres. 8.2 seconds off the pace. That was not represented last time you said, but 2. Ooh, you got all over the place through the second right-hander, but 2.8 seconds was you guys up. You see, you guys really struggling with the rear tyres. And here's Damien coming out the pits, so welcome to Gprl, Damien. And be interested to see what pace he has going out on the medium tyres. So anticipating to run long. The only drivers not to settle up at the moment are Felipe, Damien, Steve, and Toyin. You guys get to set a representative lap time, but presuming there's no mistakes through the final corner, or final 2 or 3 corners, I should say, he should be on his way to setting a representative lap times. It's currently a Rebel 1-2, followed by Jarno on the Sauber in P3 and Marcos in P4. Karim in P5. Where can you guys slot himself? Goes up to P6, 2.4 seconds off the pace though. And Ryan, you having any luck?
No, I can't see it. It's not giving me an option to join the session.
Okay. Are you in the GPRL community?
Yes, the one that was just created today. Yes, yeah, I'm in that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you can find anyone, see if you can join through it.
It says there isn't anyone playing.
Yeah, if you go into members, then that should be. I will message you guys and ask him to.
Not letting me join anyone.
Oh, that's Moraine's gone off the track in turn 1. Meanwhile, I've just asked you guys to invite you to the session as we watch newcomer Damien through the final corner, backs that on that lap, so clearly not too pleased with it. So here comes Felipe in his Sabo. Something to mention, it's Felipe's final race actually in GPRL. So a bit of an end of an era. Last week's race winner before the penalty, of course. Felipe goes P3. Ryan, I know you're not in the session, but good effort there from Felipe up in P3.
Yeah, it's a very good effort from him, and obviously going back to the thing you mentioned before, it'll be sad to see him go, but he's had a solid run in GPRL.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. As we just try and sort out this this issue. Can you join through the party if you go on my name and? Okay. Okay, I'll appear online. Here we go.
Join though. And if that doesn't work, then no, it doesn't give me an option to join.
Right, meanwhile Marcos has gone fastest at the top. joining out the session in P7. Yeah, Marcos up at the top. The only person not set a lap is Damien, who's currently on his outlap on super soft tyres. Marcos, good lap in P1 considering the fact he's struggling, but Moraine is on a fast lap, and he'll be looking to knock his championship challenger off the top step. Felix, his teammate, gets out the way, so it's all down to Moraine now in this final section after a little bit of tow there from Felix. So through the final little chicane goes Moraine, trying to keep it together, using a lot of the curb on the inside, using the short run. Well, not using all the short run. Down to the line, it is P1 for Moraine, so swapping at the top. Yeah, flipping around at the top, Moraine back on top by just about 6/100ths of a second. It's half a second back to Felix and Felipe, and then Jana, and then Karim, who's actually on a lap, I believe, as he rounds 130R into the final chicane, braking now over the curbs and back on the power. Run up to the line. Karim improves, but not enough to jump him up a position. So the gap at the top is coming down. And now we watch Steve go through the final corner. Steve not having the best run of qualifyings this year, but you know, he's certainly made up for it in the race. But we watch Steve come through the final corner. P3 then for Steve, just about 100th quicker than than Felix. So Steve up in P3, good effort from him. Currently it's a Red Bull, Mercedes and Ferrari front three, something we may see in real life. So the only person to get set lap is Damien, and he's going around the spoon curve. Now is he? Let's back on the throttle. It looks like he's backed out of this lap. So Damien, the newcomer in Gprl, struggling. Next person up is Ugaitz. To the line, it's P7 for Ugaitz, 1.1 off the lead. It's all relatively close, you would say. But as now we watch us go into the final couple of moments of qualifying, final 4 minutes, and it's all quite tight as we look down from P3. P3 and P5 separated by about 3/10, so you know, one little mistake or one little slip up can really make the difference. And Ryan, who's your pick for pole?
Well, I'm not sure because I can't see the board still.
Of course you're not. Of course you're not. Sorry. Anyway, I will try and sort this out. I'm doing my best to. Can you rejoin this session?
I'm trying to get in contact with the group chat and no one's getting back to me.
I think there's a lot of people racing at the minute, so that could explain it.
Yeah.
So here's Damien finally on a lap. Hopefully he's happy with this lap and doesn't abort it. Seemed to be quite a nice run actually through Spoon Curve and out onto the back straight down into 130R. We'll see what a split is like. 3.4 seconds quicker than his fastest time, so Damien's en route to improve, and we got all the top runners on fastest laps now. Ugaitz is in the pit, so that'll have to be a quick turnaround for him to get a lap in. Watch Damien down the hill, and where's this going to be? 2.3 seconds off the pace, but that puts him up in P9. Currently McLaren 8-9. For the first time this season we have both McLarens racing in their respective cars. Anyway, we have Marcos starting his lap, we have Moraine starting, or no, just going quite wide. I looked as if he was pushing there. But yeah, Steve just coming out the pits. He'll do well to get it around on that time. Felix is on a lap, and I believe no, he's not. It's Felipe who's backed out of his lap. He nearly made contact with the wall, and now we look to Felipe's teammate Jana going through Spoon Curve. riding the curbs. Yana back on the power up the hill. So we look at Felix, who's entering the final chicane. Now can he get this hooked up? Will this be the pole for Felix? Back on the power. Taking the nice short run to the line. Where's it going to put him? Puts him P3. That's the best Felix can do for today. As we look back to Yana now. He goes over the line. Where's it going to be? P5 is the best Yana can do. So who's left out on the track? Steve, if he can get round for a lap. We got Moraine coming through the final corner now, and I believe he improves to a 27.2. So a good lap from him, I think, or he's just starting his lap. I think I'm not quite sure. A little bit caught up, but Marcos goes fastest with a 26.8. So Marcos on pole for the time being. Moraine has backed out of his lap. So it looks like that's it. The only person that could knock Marcos off his little pedestal is Steve, who's coming around to start his lap now. I believe he will be the last person on a lap. Karim is on a lap, so just these two remaining. Steve comes through the first two corners, looking quite cloudy here at Suzuka. Through the S's. Steve trying to get the car hooked up, turned in. Very important. A lot of curb on the exit. Quite a nice run.
Oh shit.
Is that an invite?
Pardon my language. Yeah, I just got an invite from Moraine. So,
oh wow.
The saviour. And I got an invitation from Felix as well.
Wait, how do you do that? We've got Ryan back!
I have no...
Well, hey!
I was looking in the chat and Yannick was saying something about when you're on track you can invite people.
Well, Yannick's drunk, so we'll ignore him.
But he's saved the commentary, right?
He's saved the day. Welcome back, Ryan.
Yes. Jesus Christ, what have I missed?
Good afternoon. We've got a lot of jumping around at the top, as currently the only driver on a lap is Steve and Karim actually, as he goes through the final corner. P8 is the best he can do, so now it's all eyes on Steve. Runs through the final corner, leaving it very late, Steve. Across the line, P3, so not a bad effort there from Steve, you'd say?
Yeah, it's a very good effort from him. Right. Okay, so I have everything's... Okay, so... Oh, it's very interesting in order. Okay, I can see Marcos at the top, Moraine second, Steve third. Okay, so it's a very good grid for today. Yeah,
the grid did end up spacing out a lot, actually. It was quite close at one point, but yeah, Marcos, considering not being very fast at this circuit, goes and puts it on pole, so be interesting running down into turn 1. And I do apologise for my mum hoovering in the background. Ryan might have to take over for that.
So yeah, it should be a good race today. Okay.
Looking very sunny at Suzuka.
It is, yeah.
Looks like quite a nice day, so unlike last round, you'd think no rain.
It looked like there was I saw a glitch in the bottom right corner. I saw one car mounted on top of one of the others. I don't know if that was just on your screen. Oh, Felix is left. Are you still there, Alex?
Yeah, I'm still here, don't worry.
Okay, good. Yeah, it said Felix left the session. I'm not sure why. See if we can...
I don't understand how you invite people back in the session. This is a hot topic of this video.
Yeah. Yeah, why did Felix leave? That's weird. Right. Okay, I think...
Felix internet's actually Enrico has just said on the chat that he can't, so thank you for that one.
Good timing.
Yeah. So, right, formation lap minus Felix. So, sunny day. Sunny day. And, Ryan, could you give us a little preview of the race?
Anything in particular about the
Anything, Ryan.
lap?
Go for it.
Well, Marcos will be hoping for a better result compared to last time round in Mexico, as well as Moraine in second place, hoping for possibly another win in this season. Steve just behind. Yeah, he'll be also looking for the race win. Felix, which, well, he would have been challenged for the win, but well, it looks like he is joined, but I think he'll be spectating because it's during the formation lap. Jarno, I think Jarno can challenge for top 3, maybe top 2. Going from last time at Mexico, he did a solid job, so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Felipe in the Sauber, I just realised that. It'll be nice for him to get a good final race for Gprl.
Yes.
You guys, solid qualifying from him, P7, just in front of Karim and Damien, the rookie of course, and Toyn in last place. So I think from P1 to P6 it will be a very interesting battle, and then there might be a small battle at the back with the bottom 4. So there should be quite a lot of battles out on track today, which will be good to see. I think that's it, basically.
Yeah, good little rundown from you there, Ryan. And now we go on to the start of this Grand Prix. So we have Toyn joining in at the back. And now we'll be ready as we go to 5 red lights. Sorry to cut you off there, Ryan. We'll come back to you in just a moment, but we're going to look at the Felix missing the start. It's like in Suzuka, looked like a fairly even start for the front 2. Marcos covers off Moraine. Moraine will have to go round the outside. There's a little bit of contact. Steve is down the inside. Moraine having to defend the position round the outside. He's going to hold that. Karim's jumped up to P5. He's had an incredible start. And Jarno holds P4. I believe he's gone up 1 position. Felix obviously dropping back for not starting. It looks like everyone has made it through the S's unscathed. It's Marcos leading Moraine, leading Steve, Jarno, Karim, Ugaitz, who was struggling through the S's, Felipe, who's had a miserable start to his final GPRL race down in P7, then it's Damien holding position, Toyn up into P9, Felix unfortunately not starting, and it's Steve actually on the back of Moraine here as we go into the hairpin. So Steve may be looking to make a move early on, Ryan.
Yeah, I think he might wait for the straight going into 130, or he could try and do what Sebastian Vettel did in the real-life Japanese Grand Prix, funny enough. As it's a Ferrari and a Red Bull, he could have tried up the inside going into the left-hander there, but I think he'll wait till the final sort of chicane to possibly make a move. So
good start from Marcos, and looks like Steve is all over the back of Moraine. Steve going to look to the outside, quite ballsy, with the wheel on the grass. Ugaitz is out the session. There's been contact with Damien. That's all I saw for that matter, as now we're going to go back to the front. It looks like Jarno now actually attacking Steve, and Jarno is going to look to go around the outside on this lovely panning shot. Jarno with a switchback to the inside, can't make it work unfortunately. So yeah, regarding that incident with Damien and you guys, did you see what happened, Ryan, or?
No, I just saw it on the bottom of the screen. I quickly flipped over and saw that so I think what happened was, when they were coming into tight chicane, is that it might have been Ugaitz on the outside and Damien just turned into him and put him into the wall.
Quite possibly.
I think that's what it could have been.
We'll have to have a look at that after the race, Moraine.
Yeah, Ugaitz apologising for the incident, so I presume it might have been Ugaitz's fault. Like maybe he turned into Damien just before the chicane and caused quite a bit of havoc.
Quite possibly. But back to the start, Karim jumped at 3 positions, so he had quite a good start, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he knew he needed to get a good start because I think he would have got held up a little bit towards the beginning of the race. But yeah, he obviously had the perfect amount of throttle on the start, virtually no wheel spin, so he was off right away as Jarno and Steve were going side by side for a second there.
Well, Jan, look down the inside. That's aggressive. There's a little tap there
Oh,
from Jana, and these two getting very close already. And Ryan, coming back to you, Moraine sets fast lap of the Grand Prix, a little bit faster than Marco, starting to close in now. Is the Red Bull, so we might see a battle between these two. And Ryan, I did cut you off just before we started. So what was it that you wanted to say? Sorry.
it was just the fact that obviously with Felix not starting the session, Steve didn't have a car next to him, so he would have benefited quite a lot from the start because he wouldn't have had to have worried about defending too much going into turn one. Because if Felix was there, Steve could have lost out quite a lot there. So he was kind of lucky in a way that he
Yeah.
didn't have any pressure from the right hand side. So it's a good run for him.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, it worked out. He held his position, and but yeah, Marcos starting to form a little bit of a lead now, just under a second to Moraine. He'll be looking to get out of the DRS. And Ryan, in terms of strategy, do you have an idea of what sort of thing we're looking at the minute? What sort of stops?
I think possibly one stop will be what most of the drivers will go for.
Yeah.
That's providing there's no rain, which looking at the sky, it doesn't look like there's going to be any rain for the race, so that'll be good for the drivers. I think it could be a one stop for this one, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and obviously the driver's done a lot more practice than we have, so you know we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Felipe's lost part of his front wing. There was contact with Karim, but Felipe has got past Karim. Felipe was a little bit late on the brakes into the final corner, and gave Karim a little tap. I don't think anything will come of that though. And yeah, Karim down to P6 will be his good start, but with the damage, you think he might be able to close back up. And talking about closing back up, Moraine's just closed about half a second in that first sector to Marcos. And one thing that I am noticing, it seems as if on the straights these two are running equal ERS settings, but it seems as if on the straights Marcos is pulling away. Do you think that would lean towards Marcos running a more low downforce setup, you'd say?
Yeah, I think so. He's probably got less wings at the front, maybe. He's probably got a little bit more on the back, so that he's probably taken some off the front and put it on the back just to prevent oversteer. So I think that he's definitely gone for a lower downforce, which is probably explains how Moraine catches up a little bit in the corners, but obviously loses that on the straights.
Yep. Thank you, Ryan. Damien out of the session, so unfortunate debut for him. But yeah, that's the way it is sometimes in racing. So Toyin, actually, he went a little bit under the radar. I believe he's pitted for mediums. It shows softs on my screen, but
I think, yeah, it says soft, but it says mediums on the telemetry.
yeah, so I think we'll go with mediums. And Toyn he didn't have a bad race last time. I believe he crossed the line in P4, but after Karen's penalties were removed, he was up into down to P5. Sorry, Yano gets a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, you'd say good pace of Toyn, shown last time. But do you think is it a little bit, is it a bit too much now? 46 seconds off the lead, or do you think he will be able to mount a comeback?
It's very unlikely because even if the leaders pit now, they'll still be 26 or 24 seconds ahead of him. So he is effectively 2 pit stops behind the leader. So yeah, it's very unlikely that he'll make it back. But I mean, anything can happen. There could be a safety car which could save him. If there was a safety car now, that could benefit him as he's on the freshest tires. But
Yeah.
It's unlikely. It doesn't look like there would be a safety car. There's no one really too close that they would cause a crash.
Lead. Ooh, No, sorry, that was just my screen glitching out a little bit there. Marcos still in the lead. He's drove a commanding race so far, you'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, solid pace from the start. Obviously, we saw that he was, well, it seemed like he was struggling a little bit. Andy complained just before the race about struggling, so he could have, going by his pace at the moment, he could have used that as a little tactic to sort
Possibly.
of,
Underdog approach.
like, yeah, to like bait the other drivers maybe.
Possibly, yeah. So Felipe comes into the pits now for a new front wing. Possibly his final stop in GPRL. I believe he's committing to a 2-stop though on the soft tyres. So interesting strategy there. I think his battle. Oh, Morain's off. Morain's off at turn 4, not turn 4, but it's I believe it's Dunlop, and Morain down into P4. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but that's gifted. Steve P2, Yano
And Kareem is just
P3.
going past.
Yeah, Kareem right up Morain's rear end. So will he make a pop down the
He'll
inside?
definitely get past.
I'm not sure.
Does Moraine have damage though? I didn't see if he had any damage.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I think he may have just gone off on his own accord. But that, you think Moraine with an 8-point lead in the championship. And, Moraine is really struggling on those tyres, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it was maybe the grass and the gravel that he kicked up at. He struggled to get it all off the wheels, and I think there's just a little bit left on them. As it looks like Kareem is going to do an incredible move. That was
Nice move there from Kareem. So.
There.
Yeah, past the Gprl Season 3 champion Moraine, late on the brakes down the inside. Was that Moraine late or Kareem early on the brakes?
It was hard to tell from my point of view. Oh, Moraine's jumping in early, so maybe he's he's got a stop-go penalty. Oh. Couldn't get any worse for him, so he's forced to 2-stop now, so he can't take these tires to the end. So
I think it
could may as well be a 2-stop. Who knows?
Yeah, and after that mistake, Moraine may come out behind Felipe as he just approaches pit exit. And now I don't think.
No, Moraine's quite a bit ahead.
Not quite enough, but on the colder tyres, Felipe may be able to close up to the reigning champion. But looking a little bit further forward, the gap's sort of starting to iron out at the minute, and this is where strategy starts to take its toll. And if you're in Marcos's spot, what are you doing now? Because one thing I have been watching since the start of the Grand Prix is his ERS levels, and it hasn't moved very much from medium. So showing that Marcos does have a little bit more in the tank. So, if you're in Marcos's seat now, are you pushing or are you just conserving the tyres and trying to stretch them out?
Well, I think I would be going for the tire saving option because, of course, Moraine, the main title contender, is 32 seconds behind the leader now. So I think Marcos will maybe think to himself that my main championship rival has just made a mistake behind me. Well, that's if he knows or not. I don't know if he's aware, but
I think he would have known because they were quite close.
If he is aware, I think he'll be just trying to stretch the tires out so that he doesn't have to worry about Moraine being a huge threat. But I think towards the end of the race, Moraine could get back up there and possibly challenge for the podium towards the end.
Possibly, yes, because Felipe fast slap on those soft tyres, so he's closing up to Moraine. Moraine seems to be struggling really at Suzuka. Suzuka causing problems for some of our drivers. Yeah, Felipe, he's closing up to Moraine, and he's just about within a second now. So we could see these two battle. I think they might have had a little battle at Bahrain. I don't think they did have a battle at Mexico, and Felipe did come out on top. So Felipe just looks a little bit more confident at the minute, doesn't he?
Yeah, you can see by ERS levels, he's really pushing the car around the track. And I think Moraine might be saving a little bit, so that could play into the reason he's catching up so quickly. But yeah, Felipe, he's putting a lot of commitment into the car. You can see the speed he's going around these corners. He's definitely going to try and catch up to Moraine, which it looked like Moraine went a little bit wide there, and it looked like he went a little bit wide on the exit. So, oh, Kareem's got a stop
Correct.
go penalty.
Yep. Track
Oh,
limits.
interesting. But he
As
hasn't pit yet, so
he will have to serve that next
he
box.
could
So.
serve it right. He could serve it right away without having to do another stop. So that could help him a little bit, unlike Moraine, who has to make another stop.
Yeah. Jarno coming out of the pits on medium tyres, so I think that is an indication, as Felipe sets another fast lap of the Grand Prix, I think that's an indication that it's about time for the one stop. Jarno coming out. Oh, that was very close with Felipe. Felipe's off. Well held there by Felipe to keep it in a straight line. There was no contact there, but Felipe just ran the outside. Couldn't make it work as he ran out of grip. But that was very nearly a very scary moment, wasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it was a sort of heart attack moment for Felipe when he just saw his teammate just close the gap ever so slightly on the outside. So I think Felipe just wanted to take the safe route and just go off track a little bit, just to avoid collision. Jarno getting another penalty. I believe that's the second penalty of the race.
Yeah, possibly. Is Felix is gonna, not Felix, Felipe having a pop down the inside of his Sauber teammate. There is contact there. Jarno giving quite a squeeze. But actually, and I do believe, I remember Jarno mentioned this. This is the race that Jarno's actually using no assists. So to be in an effective podium position with no assists, I know he said that last time. But he did end up changing them. You can't blame him. Oh, Marcus got a 5-second stop and go penalty speeding in the pit lane. So was Steve. Everyone's struggling in the pit lane this time round. So I believe Jarno is actually the only person not to get a stop go penalty, and that could shake things up quite interestingly. As Jarno comes through the final chicane now, he won't be able to get in the mix of Marcos. I doubt he'll be able to get in the mix of Steve, and Moraine will come out very close to Steve. We might have another moment like previously. Marcos out in the lead, Steve P3, albeit on colder tyres, so Moraine's going to go for this, you'd think.
Yeah, I think so. One other thing as well, of course, with all these people with stop-go penalties, it means that all these people are going to have to pit again, whereas Kareem, he's not going to have to pit again, so if he can stay pretty close to the leader, then you could say he could potentially go for a race win here.
I think Karim does have a stop-go penalty. He got one from the track limits, was it?
Yeah, but I believe he served it in the pit stop.
Oh, did he? Did he serve it?
I think he might have, yeah, because he's 20 seconds behind. He pit at the same time as Marcos. So
yeah, okay, he would have
I think he would have served his penalty by now.
And going in line with the F1 esports rules, if you don't serve a stop and go penalty, it converts into a 15-second time penalty. So, as Moraine and Steve very close, Moraine on softer, albeit more worn tyres. We'll see if Moraine's rears will go off as much as they did in the first stint. Sticking behind now for 130. Yeah, a little bit of dirt. Will we go Senna-esque down the inside? No, we won't. Steve going defensive, well held there by Sir Steve Matam. Interesting game of tag aplenty in Gprl. But now we have Moraine with the DRS round the outside. This is going to be quite a ballsy move for the championship leader. He's just about going to keep it with this. Yeah, that's a very nice move from Moraine, and a lovely camera angle to accompany that. I'm not sure if you had that camera angle, but it's the one on the gravel in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
I had the cockpit camera. Yellow flag. Toying.
Is that Toying? Yes.
Looks like he's out. Yep.
So Karim, 20 seconds off the leader. And
one of the Saubers, Felipe has spun
is that Felipe?
round,
Yes, Felipe.
going into the fast left-hander.
Thank you for that. I believe it's yes, the Dunlop up the hill where Moraine made his mistake. Sorry. So clearly showing that that's causing some issues for the drivers.
Felipe's really struggling.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of oversteer, so I think Kareem will make the overtake here and hopefully continue to push.
Of course, as always. But we're down to just 6 drivers now. Bit of a race of attrition here, as was last time. And yeah, Moraine holding P3, but now it's Steve coming back at him. And Steve has got a lot of pace on Moraine. They're side by side into the final Chicane, Steve has the inside line, Moraine
Lovely
tucks in
move.
behind, a lovely move there from Steve, but if you'd like to talk us through this battle, Ryan?
Yeah, so I think at the moment what Moraine's going to be thinking is that, well, he's going to need to eke out quite a gap to Steve as it's getting very, very close. While I believe they both do have stop-go penalties, so they will have to pit again. But it'll be interesting to see when they pit, because the mediums, they should take you to the end of the race, but of course they're going to have to pit a lot earlier, so it will be the interesting call of what tyres does Steve put on. Does he go for the super softs and play it risky and sort of bank on him making positions in the last 4 or 5 laps, or I think he might go for the softs because he's got more time to overtake. Oh, there's a yellow flag in sector 1.
Felipe
It's Felipe
again.
again.
Struggling a lot in his final. It's a shame to see this, Felipe struggling in his final GPRL race.
Yeah.
But if he just coasts at him, I believe, what is the 75% lap counter?
Um,
If you can do it off the top of your head, then go for it. But
I will
20
try and have a
laps.
particular.
So
20.
20 laps completed. And then you're eligible to score points. The rule we run in GPRL. So Moraine started to eke out a gap to Steve behind him, as I believe Felipe has made another mistake.
Felipe's round again, yep.
Really struggling is Felipe. Some little donuts in his final race, and he's really struggling. So maybe overheating the tyres. There's a safety car deployed. Right. Okay.
Oh,
So
safety car. What? Could that have been because of?
that would have been because of Felipe.
Oh, that
Okay.
is
So
confusing because he didn't retire from the race. So that's really weird. I think a few drivers will be having a few words there.
Yeah,
as to
definitely.
what happened there? Because there's no retirements. Felipe's just going into the pits
into
now.
the pitch.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just his tires overheating now. But
Yeah,
this,
possibly.
if we remember what we were talking about earlier with, I believe it was Karim or Karim or
Karim, yeah.
Felipe, the fact that
Karim,
they could catch up now. They can gain quite a lot of time on this,
Yeah.
hoping that everyone gets bunched up, which they will get bunched up. So,
Mhm.
there's
Ooh.
there was
Ooh.
very little contact between Steve
Yeah,
and
I got
Moraine
that.
there.
But yeah, I think
Why do
it's
some
quite.
drivers?
Go on.
Felix was saying, why do some people have stop-go penalties? It's just because
Speeding in the
exceeding
pit
cut
lane.
limits and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. The pit lane obviously causing quite a few issues for people today. And yeah, I think it's quite funny that we were on about, in Bahrain or Mexico, we haven't seen a safety car for ages. As soon as we said that, we've had them consecutively in races. Like, is it on us? Are we just calling the shots here, or?
Well, you always like a safety car to spice up the race, so
I'm not complaining, but
I say that it's down to us.
it's down to us. I think all the instances of
Oh, Marcos,
Ooh, yes,
everyone's pitting now. Marcos,
everyone into the pits.
Raul, or not
Steve.
Raul, Moraine, sorry. Steve and Yarno, I believe, are all pitting now.
So
Marcos
who
didn't
is
look like
taking? Sorry to interrupt
like
you.
Marcos did his penalty.
Okay, so I don't think that's an optional choice that drivers get
Yeah,
within
you're
the
not allowed to do
cockpit.
it. I don't think you're allowed to serve penalties under the safety car.
Okay, so that could be why. But Moraine has dropped. Yarno managed to jump Moraine under that pit stop. So good job by the Sauber team. And
Very speedy pit crew there.
yeah, and you'd say it. I mean, looking at Felipe's tyres and how quick they went off, they were only 5 or 6 laps old. Yeah, we've got 13 laps to go on these soft tyres. So yeah, is it just me, or do you not think that these can be stretched out to the end?
Well, I'm not entirely sure about that, but obviously most of the drivers still have penalties to deal with, so they will have to make another pit stop. So maybe the fact that the tyres won't last till the end of the race could be a good thing, because it means they're not wasting potential pace.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's alright, don't worry. So Felipe
And here we have
closing up.
Karim right up behind everyone, so it has kind of worked a little bit. Marcos trying to overtake the safety car there. He nearly went into the wall.
So, I mean, whilst we're on this little safety car period, let's, gentlemen, a short view back to the past. Please tell me you get the joke.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Do you? Do you not?
We'll pretend I got it, yeah.
Okay.
Until I Google it afterwards.
You need to search Abu Dhabi 2014 longest question ever in the press conference.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 I know exactly what we're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. A short view back to the past. Anyway, you think of all the commentators' curse instances we've had this year. You know, we called Yana. Oh, he's got a great lead. He's bashing us. Oh, safety car. Yeah, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but we're the Devils, Ryan. We're the Devils.
We are, yeah. We're. Well, when it comes to us commentating, you better hope you're not racing when we're commentating.
They should sign us up for F1. Yeah, don't have to worry about a boring season. Get us on.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Marcos now. It's like he's trying to overtake the safety car, but
He's having a little
gotta
race.
Be careful,
Yeah.
Because as soon as he goes past the safety car, that's it. Oh, as the
Safety car cut him off.
swerves and
Yeah.
the safety car's not having any of it.
I wonder what would happen if Marcos gets damaged by the Mercedes safety car. Imagine the controversy.
Well, yeah, controversy saying that the safety car brake tested him.
Or imagine if it was a Ferrari. Imagine if that happened in real life.
Yeah, the
Imagine.
controversy. He'd be
Yeah.
getting a pay rise.
Yeah. So as we're all slowed up behind the safety car, Felipe's managed to catch up, so he's had a free pit stop and a couple of calm down laps since his little moment. So, oh, Marcos was a bit sideways, warming up the tyres, a little bit aggressive, but you'd expect, you know, the safety car to be in this lap and we can go racing again. So if you want to give us a little preview of the restart, who are your eyes on?
Well, obviously it's going to be the top four because obviously they've got the same their compound and obviously they all pitted at the same time. But it'll also be good to see how well or who pits first for to serve their time penalty because
Or if they
obviously
pit.
I don't think anyone's served the time penalties yet. I think Kareem has, but
I'll
I'm not
check
entirely
that.
sure.
I'll check that.
Because in that case, Kareem's he's only really the only one in the top five that can actually make it to the end of the race at this point. Everyone else will have to do a pit stop. So if Kareem plays this out well and he's served his penalty already, he could potentially be, of course, for a win.
Yeah, so it is Moraine. Karim did have a stop go. I believe that has been served. We're going to go off that basis, and it's Marcos, Steve, and yeah, that is it. But now we're going to get ready to go racing again. Marcos leading the pack, and off we go. So
It's a good restart from Marcos. He timed that pretty well. Jarno didn't get the best restart there, as you can see. He's quite a bit behind Steve, so not the best restart. But Steve and Marcos, they got off to a
Steve's
pretty
gone a bit
decent
wide.
start from the safety car.
So that could bunch them all up, and you know, it's now going to be Marcos's job to get his head down. I mean, you know, the top four all with penalties to serve. If not, they do turn into 15-second time penalties. So we got Moraine chasing Jarno up the hill. Who's your pick for the win in this situation with everyone this tight?
Well, like it is for most games, it can be any of the top five, maybe even Felipe as well,
Yeah.
because he's obviously caught back up and everything. So it's all to play for between the top six. So it could be very close towards the end of the race. But with time penalties, it's unlikely the top three or top four will get the win because obviously everyone's so bunched up. When they pit, they're going to be some 19 seconds behind maybe. So
Yeah,
it's going to
that
be very
will be.
tricky to catch up with the amount of laps left.
Yeah,
so,
Karim, obviously, just to mention, he is the only one on the medium tyres, as Felipe is looking to make a move. Possibly, maybe, second time lucky.
Felipe getting close.
Have a little look. This time not lobbing off part of his front wing. Karim's quite deep into the chicane, so that's going to set Felipe up nicely. DRS not
Jarno's
enabled
on the
yet.
back of Steve, so
Ah,
he
yes,
could be
so
going around the outside.
This could
of
be.
turn one. That would be a really nice move.
I don't think it's
Oh,
quite
he's
enough.
oh,
Yeah, he
he's
got quite over the grass. A little bit excited there. Did Yano?
oh, speaking of Yarno, another thing to point out is, as well as the stop go penalties, there are drivers that just have plain penalties that will get added no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think Yarno's got.
I think Yano's got 6
Marcus
seconds.
only has stop go. Yeah, Yarno's got 6 seconds, so he's gonna have to have quite a comeback drive from his pit stop in order to score highly in this one. I think he's the only one with proper penalties. Kareem is pretty slow. He's kind of fallen off as Felipe is going down the inside of Kareem. Oh, but
Yep.
Felipe got a bit oversteer, so he just lost it.
Okay, so that's a common occurrence of Felipe's race. A little bit of oversteer, and unfortunately that is the problem. But moving.
Yarno could be attacking Steve.
Yeah, our
going up
attention back to the
hill.
top. Well, positions 2 down to positions 3. Yana does have to be careful though attacking Steve, because if he goes down the inside and the move doesn't come off, you know, he's vulnerable to Moraine. So you know,
Oh,
ooh,
Yarno's doing
yes,
it.
that was a
my
very late
word.
move. What a move there from the Sauber
Daniel
driver.
Ricciardo.
Yeah, that was very much more Ayrton Senna-esque. But yeah, good move
Oh,
from
yeah, indeed.
from Yarno. But you know, he's going to put himself in a danger zone. We could be looking at
Oh,
3 wide
on
here.
the outside.
Down the inside, Moraine's not going to make it 3 wide. There's
Oh,
contact. Moraine's
Steve
down the inside.
has
Steve
gone.
is round. I think he holds it. Yes,
It
he
was gonna
does.
happen.
It was going to
It was
happen.
gonna happen. 3 wide. I mean, well, we could see it from here that yeah, there was obviously something was gonna happen there. I think. Did you say Yarno had front wing damage?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
I think everyone got off pretty clean there with his overheated tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like everyone got off clean, but obviously Moraine getting off best.
So one thing to note: Marcos using no ERS, Moraine using full. Or he's just switched it down, but Moraine really going for it now. So yeah, it could be a second bite of the cherry for Moraine. Meanwhile, Steve's gonna have the bit between his teeth to try and catch back up to Yarno. Did you see what happened with that incident? It's kind of tricky to see from my camera angle.
I think it was just simply, I don't think Steve had any room on the outside. I think Yarno, obviously having to worry about Moraine as well, I think he just went into deep and sloth. I don't think there was, I think there's maybe a little bit of contact which caused Steve to spin round, but I think it was just a racing incident,
Yeah,
in my
possibly.
opinion.
And Moraine into DRS range now of Marcos, so we could see something quite interesting come off between the two of these, the 2 championship protagonists, and you know, it's every little counts, really, at this point of the season. As you can see, Moraine just seems to look a lot more comfortable on these tyres than Marcos, should say.
Yeah, you can see how much he's catching up on the corners. So maybe it could just be down to how well he's managing the tires rather than the setup. They could be running similar setups, but it could just be the tires as well.
And a lot of respect between these 2 drivers, as we've heard on the group chat. But you know, these 2, they don't hate each other. They do get on off the track, which is important. A little bit of oversteer there for Moraine, but Moraine is right up the rear end of Marcos, and Marcos still with a lot of ERS to use, but not using loads of it. You know, he could use more. So interesting strategy there from the Mercedes driver, and Moraine going, you know, full-blown attack as Marcos does start to turn his engine mode up. Now, obviously, with this year's game, a whole new element in terms of we got Steve being passed. Steve got past Yana. I believe Yana may have made a mistake, but we could see a move for the lead here, judging by how close Moraine is. And with the DRS activated, he's closing. He's not closing enough to make a move into turn 1. But definitely looks the faster driver at this point, would you say, Ryan?
Yeah, you can see that Moraine is going full on attack here. I think he's been given the team order just to go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what you're saying about Marcos, I think he could be using a lot more ERS, but he could just be saving it for the straights, putting it into overtake to prevent Moraine from getting past. So
Yep.
he could just be using it in very short bursts, but I think he could be using a bit more in the corners because
Yeah.
he's losing. I think he's losing too much time in the corners, and it'll only be a matter of time before Moraine goes up the inside.
Yeah, obviously we know the pace of Moraine. You know, he's not one to hold back, and I'm sure Moraine will have in the back of his mind the title battle. You scored 20 points for a win and 18 points for a P2. So of course Moraine, he will be thinking, you know, if needs be, P2 is enough. I will still keep the championship lead, but you know, Moraine, he's a racer. He will want the win, and yeah, Moraine did make a little bit of a mistake through the last part of the spoon curve. So he did lose a bit of time, but closing back up now to Marcos. He'll have DRS again as he jumps on the brakes for the final chicane. It's just quite an alarm bell going off to me at the minute. It does seem as if, you know, Moraine, he just through the corners. It was, you know, the polar opposite in the first stint, but Moraine looks to be the one now with the I don't know a good analogy for it at the time being, but Moraine with a 3-second time penalty. Yep. Commentator's curse.
Yeah, good pace penalty. He would still keep P2 though if he was to.
Does Marcos have a
like this,
penalty?
if there was no penalty.
Sorry to.
He does have a stop go.
Yeah.
So.
I believe
he's
Moraine
getting
has one
very
also
close
though.
now. He's putting Marcos under pressure now.
Will he go for a dive? He's close enough for a dive. He's thinking about it.
Oh, there's a
Yellow flag. Is that Karim? Yeah, Karim was slow.
Again.
Oh, Felipe was slow. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Felipe was
just,
slow.
Lost it at his favourite corner on the track.
His favourite corner. Well, Felipe close enough. Will he go for another dive? He will down the inside. Very aggressive there from Felipe in his final race in Gprl, struggling to get the traction down there. And that's about it for now. As Moraine dropping back slightly. As per usual in Sector 3, he drops back but then closes back up for Sector 1 and 2. So interesting dynamic between the two drivers at the top of the pack. Then it's Steve in P3 sitting on a podium, and he'll be quite happy with that. Meanwhile, Felipe within striking distance of Karim, not quite. But you know, if the results were to be taken right now, Karim would win the race by about 0.2 of a second. Well, as I say that, it just clicks over to 15 seconds. But yeah, Karim just on the verge. So if the timings stay as they are, Karim will keep. No, he won't. He'll go up into P2. So it's still, you know, the dream's still on for Karim. His first podium since season 2 in Canada. As I believe Karim's made a mistake.
Felipe just passed,
Or
yeah.
was it a mistake, or did Felipe just get past?
I'm not entirely sure. It could have been a mistake because Karim was going quite slow.
Yeah. But clouds starting to get a little bit darker here at Suzuka, so you know, maybe we'll see a little bit of a last-minute downpour. That would spice things up quite nicely. But Moraine really close to Marcus now, so maybe Marcus is just trying to really conserve his tyres for the last couple of laps and then come back.
Oh, Marcos getting a lot struggling.
Yeah,
It looked like he struggled a little bit there.
It did look as if he struggled, and that's going to put him on the back foot.
I think that's one of Moraine's better sectors there, because obviously you were saying how he's normally slower in that bit. I think he just managed to get his braking points perfect there to catch up quite a lot. I think he could be going for the race win here on this straight.
The race lead, I think.
The race
he's
lead.
Very close. He is very close. Activation of the DRS round the outside.
Oh.
Side by side between the two drivers, round the outside goes Moraine.
Oh,
Marcos is still there though, on the inside, the side by side battling, still side by side into this left-hander, but Moraine forces his way. And up into P1 goes Moraine. Been a good job of him so far, so now it's going to be interesting to see what Marcus's pace is like. Has he been saving some? Has he been saving his tyres? Or is Moraine actually that much quicker in this section of the race? And I do believe if Moraine can pull out a 3-second gap to compensate for that time penalty, will this be his first win of the season? I believe it will.
Yeah, I don't believe Moraine. No, I believe Moraine won at Mexico after penalties.
Oh, of course he did. Sorry about that. That's Ryan keeping me updated. But yeah, it does look as if Marco's struggling on these tyres, and I'm not quite sure why, because you know his pace on the softs was good, and from what we saw, his pace on the mediums was good. So you know, maybe we'll see Moraine blitz off into the distance. I think it's going to be important for Marcos to sit in his slipstream and try and stay within DRS. As you can see, Marcos starting to close up a little bit now. Do you think Marcos can make a move?
Oh,
Felipe
Felipe's
off.
round again.
It's a shame for Felipe. He will get points though in his final race of GPRL, so that is one thing to take away. But yeah, do you think Marcos can make a move for the lead?
Well, possibly within the last few laps. That is if he's been secretly conserving his tires or not. He's quite low in ERS though, so yep. I think he'll just be relying on how much fuel he's got. He'll be probably bumping up into rich mix and for the last few laps just to try and get the most out of the exits.
Yeah, and it does look both drives on very similar ERS levels. We don't know about the fuel levels, of course, but might be a nice addition. As I think, touching back on a point that I made earlier, Moraine does seem a lot more confident through the corners. So I think that does all but confirm. You know, Marcos is running a lower downforce setup, as in the real life season, with Red Bull a little bit stronger in the corners but weak in the straight line. So that might be something interesting to see into 2019 if Red Bull do improve. But looking at season for GPRL, and yeah,
Marcos could go for a dive bomb here if he's confident.
I think it's a little bit too far. I thought he was going to go for it.
But he'll definitely have it on the straight.
Yeah, he's gonna have a chance, you'd say, on the straight with DRS, with the ERS enabled. But
Felipe penalty.
yeah, Marcos not turning his ERS up just to medium now. So both drivers doing the same thing. So you know, Marcos not looking to launch an attack, and that might be an issue, because if Marcos drops out of DRS, he's going to struggle to catch back up to Moraine, and then Moraine may have a good chance of opening up that 3-second time penalty. And Ryan, just to clarify, you did say that Marcos had no other penalties.
I believe he only had the stop-go penalty. I don't think I can have a very quick look in the race director. No, there's not many incidents. I'll have a quick look. Marcos speeding, stop-go penalty. Yeah, he just has a stop-go penalty.
Okay, so it's all on Moraine now to open up the gap. And you know, Marcos is sticking just about within his DRS, albeit dropping back. And Marcos starting to play a little bit more ERS now, so he's trying to get a move on, as is very important.
I don't know if I think Moraine maybe has a 3-second time penalty, so he could be finishing second at this rate if it stays how it is.
Will be P2 unless Marcos makes a mistake, or you know, Moraine drastically pulls out 3 seconds in 2 laps. But you know, if Marcos is doing some secret tyre conserving, or was doing some secret tyre conserving, now is the time to use it, my friend.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be interesting to see how the last lap and a half. Sorry.
It's alright, don't worry.
Yeah, I think that he can definitely go for it in the last lap and a half. Marcos a lot closer to Moraine, so either Marcos's tyre saving's working, or I believe Moraine's be getting a bit of oversteer quite a bit, so it could just be the tyres heating up a little bit.
Possibly. So yeah, it's not engine mode because they're both, two of them, in exactly the same ERS setting. So I think one thing, I don't know if Marcos will be aware that Moraine actually does have the extra 3-second time penalty. So if Marcos sends it and you know, it comes off worse for himself, that will be a win pretty much thrown away as we're going to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Marcos,
Very
deep.
close. Oh, he went a bit deep, yeah. Oh, Moraine getting a lot
Yeah,
of
he
oversteer
did
there,
get
so I think
oversteer.
Moraine's struggling on the last lap. This will be an exciting last lap because
It
I
will.
think down to P4 anyone can win here.
Will Marcos
Just
make a
depending
move?
on how the penalty.
Not
Oh, it's a yellow
close
flag.
enough. Yeah,
It is
Felipe.
for Felipe again.
That's
Felipe sending it off nicely for him. He'll be
literally sending
be
it
sad
off.
to see him go.
Will
but
be sad. But yeah, thank
it'll
you.
be sad to say that Felipe is no longer racing. It'll be
Yeah. Going off to university, bigger and better things. So best of luck with that, Felipe.
Hope to race in the future.
Yeah, hopefully we will see you back in Gprl. You're always welcome. As far as I'm around, but Marcos and Moraine battling almost equal.
I don't think much is going to happen with these two here because the gap's been staying the same and although Moraine, I think
Yeah,
Moraine
he had
went
a
off
little
track
moment,
over
didn't he?
this,
Yeah.
So I think he went off again. I think this could be the moment. This could be the moment we've been waiting for. The last lap. This could.
I think Marcos might be getting desperate here. Obviously unaware that Moraine does have the extra penalty.
I think it's a do or die for Marcos here. I think that's Felipe spinning. It's a do or die for Marcos, really.
Is he going to go down the inside?
I think he's going to.
He's going to try round the outside. He can't quite hold it, but I think
getting a penalty as well.
Oh, he nearly put it in the wall. But Moraine crosses the line to win the race. But Marcos does win the race.
It was only 5 seconds for
we will convert that because so yeah, Steve gets a podium in P3. Good job from him. Yano P4. Karen will cross the line.
But I believe Karen might go up a few positions here. Go ahead and Karen's already moved up to P4, so he could move up to he could get a podium.
He could move up to P3. He could.
If we do 15 seconds off, then I think Kareem will get another podium. Or another podium? No,
quite possibly.
I think it might be his first.
But anyway, here's Felipe coming through the final corner. Gracias, Felipe. Oh, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on, give us some donuts, Felipe.
We'll go with
give us some donuts.
There we go.
Give us some donuts.
Yeah,
go on, Felipe.
Oh,
please.
No, come on, you got it.
Oh, wow.
You can't.
Yes, Felipe.
Here we go.
Come on.
Yes.
Thank you, Felipe.
I mean, just quality from Felipe. I mean, he's been incredible the whole time he's been racing. Oh, I think he's.
Is he reversing across the line? Please don't get disqualified.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's a shame. It's a shame that he goes, but he's obviously got a lot ahead of him. So obviously, like Alex saying, best of luck, Felipe, if you're watching. All the best for you. From everyone here in GPRL, of course.
Of course, Ryan. Touching. Tears of joy.
Yeah. Indeed.
Was it that funny?
Well, no, it's just the way you put it across.
Yeah. Anyway. Marcos, top step of the podium, returning to form. Moraine P2 keeps the championship lead. Steve another P3, and I believe that's going to be him closed up to someone else in the championship. But here are your final race results. Marcos another win in GPRL, followed by Moraine. That 3-second time penalty was killer for Moraine, and Marcos did a good job to keep his cool and not send one and ruin his race. So good job from Marcos getting P1, another win for him in Season 4. As previously mentioned, Steve in P3 could very much drop a position to Karim. That will have to be looked at after the Grand Prix. But yeah, interesting race today, albeit not loads of drivers. Ryan, thank you for being here. Any last moment comments you'd like to bring up?
No, I'm all good here.
No, and yeah, that's it. So, thank you guys for watching. Join us next week. Next week we are at Silverstone, and I will just be back from Scotland just in time. So, I'm going to Scotland, by the way, Ryan. So,
oh,
you should
if
be proud
only
of me.
I was there.
But yeah, so we're back next time in Australia, actually. So it should be an interesting race. And yeah, we're gonna go and investigate some stuff, and we will see you next time. So thank you, Ryan. See you
Okay.
soon.